As far as the happy birthday wishes, thanks a lot, man. It means a lot to me. I appreciate it. But it's not my real birthday. But it's still fantastic. The same people who wished me happy birthday last year on my fake birthday, January 12th, I made a comment about how this isn't my real birthday, but I appreciate all the happy birthday gifts and all the happy birthday wishes. But it's not my real birthday, and this is just fantastic. I got text messages saying, "What are you going to do for your birthday?" Text messages saying, "Happy birthday," and they get a piece of information off the internet about me, and then boom, something as simple as a birthday is incorrect. But it doesn't mean it's not sincere. I really appreciate all the happy birthdays that I get on January 12th, even though this video will not change anything. There will be still people for the rest of my life now that will wish me happy birthday on the 12th. And I like to do stuff like this all the time, and my sister will vouch for you that I've always been a prankster. I've always been a person, before it's great to tell the truth, but sometimes I would joke intentionally just to see another truth come out. Sometimes a white lie kind of brings out another truth. And the truth is, I feel important whenever I see a red notification on Facebook, whether it be a friend request or a message or a comment on something. Like my life, please like my life. Because if you don't like my life and I go a day without a red notification on Facebook, I am empty on the inside. My confidence is zilch. I wander endlessly throughout the day. What can I do to get that red notification on my life to feel complete? It sounds like I'm joking, but I'm actually telling the truth. So whatever it is out there, do whatever it takes to get those red notifications. If your life is boring and you can't afford anything in your life, go buy a blue screen, go get Photoshop, tag yourself in Las Vegas, and Photoshop yourself next to Penn and Teller or next to the Jabberwockies, and reel in all the compliments so that way you can feel better about yourself and your life will be more complete than it would have been if you hadn't lied. No, I'm lying again. One of the interesting things also about birthdays is everyone always tells me that I act this way because I'm an Aquarius. I act this way because my stars, when I was born, dictate who I am as a person. I don't mean this, I'm impassioned. Okay, you already know I'm a passionate person. The interesting thing about this is what I told my science, all my science classes, and it's wonderful what I'm doing. I'm sitting there giving them actual evidence. I showed them that in our galaxy we have 14 star legs. It's after Sagittarius is another, I can't pronounce it, but like there's 14 star legs that you throughout the course of a year that you're born on, not 12. But yet you have to eliminate 2 of them in order to conveniently fit in every single birthday. And what's interesting to me is I did this with my class. I got random horoscopes, and I said, I read each one out loud. Compassionate, but at sometimes hard to get along with. Most of this is always a socialite, but deep down is really shy. And if horoscopes were correct, it would correctly attribute to the person that astrology sign would be, and it's incorrect. It's incorrect 100% of the time. Now, 100% of the time, that sounds pretty deep. The first thing I tell everyone that I know is nothing is 100%. For percentages are the clay in which God works with. That imperfection is where we exist the best. But how is it possible that that's 100% wrong unless there's something very wrong about trusting an intuition or a favorable thought about who you are to give you the confidence that you need. So it's lies. These are all lies, and I come to find out that some of them are great just because it reveals another truth. So lying about that horoscope thing, lying about my birthday reveals another truth. that people are gullible, and people should stop being so gullible and investigate for themselves what it is, and not watch a YouTube video. I mean, I always see, I forgive my friends because I used to be that, but there's some people out there that are that believe that everything on the internet, and not only believe everything on the internet that's good, but also believe everything on the internet that's bad, and that's terrible. You shouldn't just say like Barack Obama's doing this and just believe like one perspective of the internet. If you look closely enough, the only thing that's relevant to us in Texans is Texas economy and Texas government. Kind of just be relieved in the fact that we only have to spend federal taxes and not state taxes here in Texas. That's a good thing. No matter who Obama is, or no matter who the next douchebag will be in presidency, for the most part, our policies will remain the same. That we don't have a state tax here in Texas, which keeps everything low. We don't have a union in Texas. Is something I agree with as well. I am a very strong capitalist by nature, but I'm very compassionate for. With the general public needs as well, but I feel like there should be other regulations. But that's my opinion. That's not something that you can formulate simply by following someone else. If you follow someone else, whether it's in negativity or positivity, you have been douched. You've been deceived, and you've been bunked, and you need to be debunked. You need to debunk whatever it is in your life that is causing you to follow things. I've seen more people lose their faith, or more people join an idiot political idea simply because they are vulnerable. And they're being taken advantage in a vulnerable state. Whether it's someone that comes into youth group and they're dealing with something and someone lies to them and plays a psychological game with them. You know what? The difference is I'm telling you that I'm lying. I've seen it in many different youth groups where I could see it on the guy's face that he's using little charismatic tactics that I've been using since I was 8 years old. Yes, that's how long I've been honing my craft to speak. Maybe that's the reason why I'm so good at it, but I'm very adamant about not using that to manipulate somebody. Maybe this man has recently discovered it. Props to him for discovering it. But a lot of youth groups out there, they're manipulating a vulnerable person in a weak state of mind. First off, I don't really believe, and this is me personally, I love males. And I know that I can bring out the best out of males. Females, I only know my wife. My wife drives me crazy sometimes, and I have female friends, but I don't know them. I can describe my perspective very well, but I don't know them well. Because woman is this creature that it's too tumultuous for my logic to understand all the way. I know my sister, I know my mom, I know my wife. All my female friends, I have a wonderful time. I respect them deeply, but I don't understand them. And there's certain boundaries that I just can't ever understand, and that's fine. I accept that limitation, and I think part of the humility that God creates for us is accepting this limitation. That not all people that are pro-drugs for weed are brilliant. Just because you know one little fact about weed does not make you a brilliant person for supporting it. Even though I myself know eventually in this country weed will be legalized, and I don't think there's anything wrong with that. And I know I'll get lynched for that perspective as well, because we think it's going to lead to all this and this. So I'm always about what's repeatable in science. And what's repeatable in science is a glass of wine will always do more damage to your liver, your GABA, your GABA interferon, and with your spinal cord and brain. You know, I don't want to get too technical with it. But alcohol damages everything in the human body. Weed obviously doesn't, and weed is not addicting. So it's not. Eventually, it has to be legalized. I think we're just trying to figure out an economic plan for that. But even still, regardless, that's my opinion that I base off my own research, and I don't think people should knock me down for that, and I don't think people should follow me for it. I think you should do your own research. God created us to be these natural scientists. We're inquisitive, we're curious, we love to test things out, and so we should do so. I don't think God is that insecure to where He doesn't want you to test Him. He wants you to, if you're going to have this, as a Christian, I preach the relationship with God, and if you're going to have that, then you're going to be inquisitive about certain questions. My children are naturally inquisitive on everything, and I answer everything to the best of my ability, and when I don't know something, I tell them I don't know, but let's go find out. But I don't think lying to them and making up a story is going to help them later on in life. I don't think teaching them to just be completely submissive towards whatever they're told to do is going to help them out in life. I think being submissive as a husband, because that's something that I need to do, not something because not something that I'm forced to do, but I have a choice into being to being obedient towards certain honorable honors and certain valors to make my marriage work. I'm obedient to it because I choose to do it. It's not because I look at something and I feel like someone's going to stab me in the back if I don't do it. I'm at liberty to serve my family accordingly to the way I believe God wants me to serve my family. And that should not have any type of ridiculous consequences or ridiculous entitlement attached to it. I don't think I'm an incompetent person for following what I believe God's telling me to do with my family. And vice versa, though, I don't think someone else is ridiculous for not doing it, because I've never heard the audible voice of God tell me I am strictly relying on a faith that I have in who Jesus Christ is. If someone does not have that equivalent faith, I don't think I'm anyone to intercede on that. And as far as Christianity is concerned, one of the things that we can take to the bank that God created is the periodic table. Because regardless of your race, religion, culture, you can take the periodic table to the bank. It's consistent all around the universe. I even told my kids today, you know what's a wonderful thing today? I'm grading papers over there. It's in my backpack. I don't want to get it out. But what's wonderful is my sophomores. I put a bonus question of why are the first four planets the only planets in our solar system that have metal, and everyone else has gas? And they answered the question with, well, when the Earth was first forming 93 billion years ago, or the solar system was still in its infancy, they said infancy, alpha particles were coming off from the sun, and alpha particles are positive, and they're the closest to the sun, so they receive that positive energy, and they became metals. And everything else after Mars is just gas, because they weren't close enough to the sun to get the negative electronegativity from all that gases have. So that's why they're all gases over there, and we're metals over here in the first four planets. And I almost cried when I saw that. I was like, man, yes, I'm working. The things I'm doing are actually working for this generation to learn how to be inquisitive sciences and put different logics together. Now, of course, there's some Christians that do believe that everything is only 10,000 years old, which I think is completely false, but that's okay. I mean, they're entitled to believe that if they want to and ignore certain trends in history, that's fine. But I think the most worst thing that I've ever heard was in a Bible study, someone told me that dinosaurs are some kind of conglomerate conspiracy for people not to believe in God, which I think is completely ridiculous. But I have friends that actually believe that, and that's okay. I don't look down on people for believing that. But I will always try to express myself to the best of my ability. It's what keeps me a good husband. It's what keeps me a good father. It's what keeps me great and accountable for God, is for me to say certain things and try to instill life in certain things, but without having to lie and without having to feel uncomfortable with not knowing. I think that's one of the things that separates me, if I'm not going to toot on my own hubris here, but what does separate me from, I think, the regular Christian culture is I love it when I'm wrong. I'm fine with being wrong. I lose no face, and I am not abashed by being wrong. I am not embarrassed by being wrong. I don't mind someone being very dubious about the claims that I make and the facts that I make. Go look it up. I want you to. It'll give me great joy to bring out that scientist in you to go look it up. But as far as people that are gullible, the very people that think that they're competent are just as gullible. whether it's someone believing that we need to go into anarchy rule, they have not done enough research in history. For those that believe that there's too many ignorant Christians in societies, they really do need to do the research and find out what exactly they're saying. Because right now atheism is just a popular trend that people are following, and that's fine. That's the same reason why Christianity became popular during this time, because it's an urban movement. Atheism right now is an urban movement, and it's natural. It's going to happen. People will will have a disbelief in God because it's something different, fresh, new, and they feel like it's going to give them the answers in life. Guarantee you, 20 years down the line, everything they thought about atheism will not be what it is. And that's just the natural trend of history. It's human. We make mistakes. We like to jump on bandwagons. Human loyalty is the most, I used the word tumultuous before, so I'll use another one, is the most inconsistent entity of the universe. I've seen more consistency in a quasar sparking up a different universe in its infancy into a nebula of different of just hydrogen and helium combining. There's more stability in that than there is in human loyalty. And human loyalty is something divine, in my opinion. It's something that is a requirement for you to be an honorable person. And to me, loyalty enough, when we exercise it, is enough for you to revel in the fact that there could be something higher than just us humans here. I just explained to my son, okay, yes, we can explain certain things in the universe, but why does Earth, the only one with an iron core, with a special magnetic field to protect us from the alpha helium particles that are coming from the sun? And for those of you that are laymen, I'm sorry, because right now I'm a scientist and a historian in my lifetime, so I combine. Those are my main evidence, because both you can take to the bank. And long story short, there are certain things in the universe that kind of show that God is random, and there's certain things in the universe that show that God is specific. I don't think that they should be fighting with one another, creationism versus evolution and stuff. It's a pointless argument. The bottom line is, why do you think we exist on this planet? And answer that with the best of your ability, and if you seek truth, it will find you. God is truth, and it will eventually find you. I have nothing to worry about as far as the laws of this universe is concerned, and I don't need to lie in order to have someone believe me. I would rather be embarrassed, and I would rather speak my opinion boldly, and someone reject it, and I would shake that person's hand and say, good, reject me, because I respect you for rejecting a person like me. Because that means you are strong-willed, my friend. If you just openly believe everything a person like me says, then I highly consider you to revamp or put revision in the way you approach life. You should not be believing everything a great charismatic speaker says. That is not a gift. And I'll tell you that right now as a person that has honed his craft since 8 years old in being a charismatic person. It's not a gift. It's just a talent. But a gift is something that you can give to another person. What I give to other people is my legitimate and genuine regard and compassion for the things that I do in this life. It has nothing, I repeat, nothing to do with anything that was natural. That I am not that great. There's no one individual that is that great, that talented, or that creative enough to say that they have a gift naturally that they want to give. All gifts must be earned, and all gifts must be given. Those are the two requirements of it. I can't, if something came free to me and I give it as a gift, how is that at any cost to me whatsoever as a gift to other people? I have all my friends, I try to create wonderful atmospheres, wonderful intellectual poems for them to feel better about themselves, for them to progress in the direction that God wants them to progress, whether it's with me or against me. That's how it is. I think Samuel Wynn, which is the pastor's kid at the church that I sometimes, rarely attend, but that's okay. I still consider me part of that church. I think he disagrees with me more than anything, and he'll be pretty much bold in disagreeing with almost everything I say. He's probably the most, because he's a pastor's kid, he's really, really, and he won't probably even know what this terminology is. He is a strong, fundamentalist Christian that will defend the Bible with his life. And I respect him for that. He's one of the few people that will sit there and I could see it on his face. He wants to punch me for some of the things I say, and that's great. I think that's also a good opportunity for him to stand up for what he believes in, and I'm going to stand up for what I believe in. And this, if anything, if you get this video, one thing that a saying that I said that I've discovered, it says that I kind of tell everyone is, God created time to tell the truth. In time, whether it's in this lifetime or in the next, God will tell you the truth. It's time will tell you the truth more than me and you. So this debate of differences, of forcing differences, is completely preposterous and pointless. I will state what I say. Another person will state what they say. And in that disagreement, we will both be humbled by the fact that we were both wrong before the honesty, the true honest entity, which is time itself. There's always been passionate people throughout history, but time is the one that shows whether they were right or wrong. There's a lot of different philosophies that we just completely kicked out of history simply because we cannot apply them. And there's wonderful philosophies that we adapted that even Christianity has adapted. Once upon a time, Christianity dignified slavery. Once upon a time, Christianity was down with killing children. That is very true. Look at the same scriptures that say that we are supposed... The one scripture that says that homosexuality is wrong is this, within the same chapter. It says to stone rebellious children. And they obeyed all of that back then. There's not one person I know today that will believe every single word of the Bible, word for word. It's just impossible. So it's pretty apparent that we have adopted certain philosophies and certain cultural aspects. Any church today, if you see it, has political sciences all over it. There's political technologies that are running in every single church. If you did not have those type of psychological devices, no church would stick together longer than 3 weeks. It's impossible. Because we are naturally, as human beings, we want to be naturally individualistic and naturally submissive at the same time. It's kind of one of our dualistic understandings of this planet. So, thanks for the happy birthday wishes on February 15th. I hope someone watches this video and wishes me a real happy birthday on February 15th. Once again, both are loved with the same gratitude. I think it's wonderful that we have condensed it to the point to where you can just say happy birthday off one little thing, of one little mention of the word on the internet. But at the same time, I urge you to really double check. If I can fool you by simply changing a birth date, how many people can be fooled just by simply reading something from even their favorite news source, whether it's scientific or not? Read a damn chemistry book. Read a Bible. Read a physics book. And then come to your conclusion about what exactly is happening in the universe. And some people will come to find that a lot of their favorite speakers will be some people that they never thought they would be. A lot of my favorite scientists, some of them are Christian, some of them aren't, but they both will be humbled by whatever truths they find out in the universe and not lie about it. If something is a magnificent theorem, they're not going to lie about it, because I think one of the most unbiased people are scientists. One of the most biased people are political scientists. And it's wonderful to have degrees in both, because you see like both sides of it. I love you guys one more time from the bottom of my heart. Shout out to my cousins in the Philippines who didn't know it was my real birthday. There's no way they would have known anyway. And that's okay. I love them for it. Once again, shout out to the Plus Life crew. Shout out to Al Rover. I think it is one of our crew's real birthdays, and I think we'll be celebrating that very soon. And one last thing. Thank you, Patty. She's my sister. For giving me logic and calling me out on BS all my life. If it was not for my sister, I would have been full of crap. And she has always been like this guiding competition for truth with me. And if it wasn't for her and the example that she is today, I think I would, whenever you have that feeling of where you could be wrong, and you just go with it anyway, even though deep down you could have been wrong, she has completely purged that out of my life. And if it was not for her, I think all the people's lives that I've touched today wouldn't be complete. And that's wonderful how God created like a community within one influence. There's not just one person that's influenced everyone. It's a conglomerate of people in community that influence another people of community. And I love my sister to death. I don't mention her often, but you better believe that every single day my wife and I are in admiration of what this woman has accomplished. She was a teen pregnancy with every statistic going against her, and she proved it wrong. And those of you that know me to be a person that hates statistics and wants to prove every statistic wrong, that began, the forerunner for that was my sister. People can love her, people can hate her, but she is the one that has instilled not only logic but love. I mean, she's like my second mom. It gets very emotional for me. She's the one that changed Gohan's name to Titus. My youngest, I was going to name him Gohan. And my wife was like, hold up a second, your parents couldn't influence you to change the name. I'm your wife, and I couldn't even influence you to change the name from Gohan because you would have screwed him over. I thought it would have been tight if my youngest name was Gohan. But all it took was my sister's look on her face to say that was stupid, and it changed. I instantly changed. Can I help that? No. Do I feel ashamed of that? No. If anyone in this, you need people in life that you trust wholeheartedly, without question. And right or wrong, I trust my sister. She's known me all my life. She's taken care of me. She's 8 years older than me, and she's taking care of me. And that goes to show you once again that you trust the people that are close to you, because they're looking at you from the third perspective, looking in, and they'll probably design a protocol for you that is beneficial for your life. And if I didn't have my sister, I don't think any of this is possible. I don't think my career in academia would be possible. There was one incident that gets emotional a little bit, where my sister knows about this. I was so pissed off on this one Thanksgiving, and everyone called me stupid. And believe it or not, I was the stupid one. Actually, it's more believable. But everyone in my family thought I was the black sheep, and I hated being, I hated obeying authority. Once upon a time, still, once upon a time, it's still an ongoing story. There is no the end to that. I got in a huge argument, and I just blew up on this one Thanksgiving. And she'll tell you, I was just like, I told everyone that I would be the most successful, regardless of what they thought about me. And they hurt my feelings. My family just kept pushing me to go to college, and at the time I just didn't want to go to college. And I always felt like it was, I was learning a lot on my own anyway. I was researching, doing stuff on my own, and a lot of my opinions are still the same, even regardless of the college education. And I was really mad, and my sister, she told me, I'm telling you, I was just crying about this the other day, and it can bring tears to me any moment. She told me, Dennis, I'm just mad that you're wasting your talent. Do you know how hard it is? She's like, you know how hard it is I had to work? You don't have to work at all, and you're smart, and you understand things. And it was just the most liberating thing to hear a loved one believe in you. And so if all the lies that I've told and all the jokes that I've pulled, I can't cry. I'm not going to cry. If you're a loved one and you have another loved one out there, speak life into them. Believe in them. And you may bring out some of the greatest potentials that the universe itself, regardless of what types of lies or whatever types of travesties you've underwent, those things will be revealed to them. And it only happens, the reason why I'm still remaining, after all that's said and done, after all the debates that are said, I'm still a believer in God, because I believe He created love to be this entity that makes us giants in the universe and not miniature ants. And it's quite poetic that we can be these specks, just random space guts in the universe, and be giants when we feel loved. And so, yes, February 15th, please wish me those happy birthdays. All right, man. God bless. Prayers, one.